Good morning, everyone. Yesterday we had a beautiful event at the Morse Life with the seniors. It was really wonderful. Rabbi Yosef did a great job, and Saraj Workin did a great job. And one of the things that happened, my daughter, Hindi, she set up a table with flowers. She bought a lot of flowers, and the kids were able to come and make flower arrangements, like a flower shop, put a little paper around it, a little bow, and then make a little card, and go over to one of the seniors and give it to them. And it was lovely. All the seniors were going home with beautiful flower bouquets, with lovely cards and drawings from the kids. So later in the evening, I said to my daughter, I said, that was so beautiful. Where did you... It was a great idea. She said, you know where I got the idea from? She says, when I was learning in Israel in seminary, there was a time, as that happened many times, that Hamas was sending rockets into Israel, and there was a war going on, and many people were stressed out, going into the shelters every night and worrying about the rockets falling. And she said she was walking one day on Ben Yehuda Street, and there were a bunch of ladies. They set up flowers, and they were making little bouquets of flowers, and they were giving it to people, and the card on the flower said, pass it on to someone else with love. So she said, wherever she went in Yerushalayim that day, she saw thousands of people with flowers because she got it. Then she went to the train station, she saw a soldier, a chayal, she gave it to the chayal. Everyone was passing it around. So if you think about it, you have, a few hundred bouquets of flowers, but it had a ripple effect because everyone was passing it to the next person, and it was spreading this message of this good feeling of unity and love, and we're going to get through this together and supporting one another. In this week's parsha, it talks about many commandments regarding the poor and how to take care of them, most famously the sabbatical year where the land has to lie fallow so the poor people can come and take whatever they need. But one of the provisions for the poor in this week's parsha, the Torah says that when you give someone a loan, do not take interest. You have to give an interest-free loan. If somebody's poor and they need help, give them a loan and don't charge them interest. And then right after the Torah says not to charge interest, the Torah says, I am the Lord your God who took you out of the land of Egypt from the house of bondage and brought you to the land of Israel. So one of the commentaries in the Torah, his name is the Ksav Sofer, says, what's the connection? The prohibition against taking interest, followed by God saying, I took you out of the land of Egypt and brought you to the land of Israel. What's the connection? And he says something very beautiful. He says when God took us out of Egypt, he didn't just take us out of Egypt. What did he do? He put our favor in the eyes of the Egyptians, and he told us to get from the Egyptians gold and silver. And therefore, when we left Egypt, we didn't just leave without any money, we left with great wealth. And therefore God says, remember when I took you out of slavery, I gave you tremendous wealth. Well, now it's time to pay it back. How do you pay me back? By paying it forward. As they say, when you can't pay it back, pay it forward. You can't give back Hashem the wealth. So Hashem says, pass it on to the next person. And when someone comes to you for a loan, and they're poor and they're needy, give them the loan without expecting anything in return. Don't ask them for interest. Just help them out financially the way I helped you out when you left Egypt. And that's why right after the prohibition of loaning money, of not loaning money and interest, the Torah reminds us, because I am Hashem who took you out of the land of Egypt. As I mentioned to you, there's terrible fires burning in Israel this week because it's been very dry and hot. And I got a message from a woman who used to live in this community. She lives in Israel. And she told me about a particular community where 40 out of the 55 homes in this community were burnt down. And the people who only had enough time to grab a few things and run. And so there are many, many families who don't have homes right now after the terrible fires this week. I'm assuming that there's a Facebook page or there's a GoFundMe page somewhere online to help these families. I hope they set something up. I just got this message this morning, but I'll be looking for it, and if I get it, I'll share it with everyone. But this is a great opportunity to say, Baruch Hashem, God gave us a home. We could go home tonight and live in our comfortable homes. This is what Hashem tells us. Remember, when you see the plight of others, be grateful for what Hashem gave you and pass it forward, help the next person who's in need.